All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the market speculator, with the trade report for Friday, January 22nd, 2015. Take a look at futures here. Up big with SPY up almost 1.5%. NASDAQ getting close to 2%. And the big mover, oil, is up almost 5%. Now, we had a huge gain yesterday, and it's continuing today. And we'll look to get back in that today, and we'll talk about that in a second here. But let's look at SPY. 0.5% bounce. We had a really big continuation move here, and then a pullback in, and still bouncing here. Not quite as strong as we had hoped, in the sense that it made a huge intraday move and then pulled back in, but still constructive here. We got the bounce. Never really even tested the lows of the previous days, which is a real positive. We only really tested the close here of the previous day. So looking good here. There's still some room to bounce. Maybe we can get up to 190 here. And if we look at my two remaining positions, SPXL entry was in here around 62, and we're up about a point here. But we're looking at the 66, 67 range. So what we're going to need today is to get through yesterday's intraday high and move up a little from there. And then I'll consider taking profits in this one. I remember what we talked about. Sometimes, before the big move, there can be some back and forth here, and maybe we still get past. This could come down here to 59 or 60, and I would still stick with SPXL. I would start to consider getting out if it gets down in here between 57 and 58. So we'll keep an eye on that today, but we're getting a nice bounce this morning. So we should at least get close to the target, and maybe we'll take half off there, which if I'd had a bigger position in DWTI short for oil, which is actually long oil by shorting the inverse, I would have taken a half position, but decided to take the whole position with that one. Now Google, same, pretty much is similar to the market here. Bouncing in here, and I'll consider taking profits when we get close here to the 50-day moving average. So 50-day moving average is around 757. I'll consider profits around 750, or maybe try to hold through here and see if we get a retest. So that's what we'll be watching with current positions. Let's review yesterday. If we just look at this as an overall pattern here, we talked about this before, how oil, this is the inverse here, had gone parabolic here. So pretty much the opposite here of the downtrend, since it's the inverse ETF. And now if we're looking at the downtrend, we have a nice strong kind of reversal candle, and we'll see if we get a bounce here. Oil again up almost 5% here, so it should be in here around 9, which would get us over the 9 EMA here, and maybe we get there's still quite a bit of room here just to get back to January 1st. We could get all the way up to 11. So looking at DWTI, which is the vehicle I'm using here to get to that same level here, we get all the way down to 220. So even though we've had this huge day yesterday and we're continuing today, I think these dots here are where we're at pre-market now. We still have a lot of room to move to get down here, so we can re-enter this thing. My plan here was, originally I talked about this where I was going to actually add around 400 and then try to take a profit around 350. But yesterday it ramped down so quickly, so I think the profit I took was in the 370s here, closed around 386. So it moved so far past the 400 that it just became a good spot for me to exit. And what I wanted to do was get a little bounce in here and then re-short maybe around 420 and try to play a down move. But looks like we're going to open here around 320, 330. We've still got an hour and a half to the open, but from when I'm recording this now, it's popped up to about 350 here. But if we do get an intraday bounce here, I will maybe add if we get back here around 370, 380. And we know this is a very volatile stock. You can see yesterday there was a 60, 80, 90 point range, 100 point range in here, and 50 point ranges are common recently. So we could get a bounce in here, and I will consider shorting. So remember, when I short DWTI, it means we're long oil. So if you don't want to do use this shorting method, you can use USO and just go long. You can go UCO and go long, or use UWTI. The reason I don't want to use UWTI, it's $1.79 here, so I need a lot of shares, and that costs me a higher commission because I'm per share and not per trade. So you can use any three of these. This is the triple leveraged. UCO is the double leverage. And let's look at UCO, which I think is the common trading vehicle for a lot of people here. If you're entering here at 750, we've got a nice target here at 860, which would be a point on a 750 stock, which is a huge gain. And then again, if we're going for January 1st, all the way up here at 12. So that would be a massive gain. So oil is in play right now. I think that's the first and foremost. And that kind of leads into energy. And you can see here, energy, huge move yesterday. You can use XLE. You can use DIG, which is the double leverage. Again, moving from about 21.85 to 23.37, 6% move yesterday. Or you can use a triple leverage, which made almost a 10% move here from the 14s to almost 16 here at some point. It did get over 16. And again, if we're, you've got a reasonable target here at 20, which would be 5 points on a $15 stock. So we could get a huge move in this. And then if we're just looking at January 1st, all the way up to 23. So those are a couple of ways to play oil and energy. Then there's a few stocks. The ones that I've been playing in my day trading account are just because of the big moves here. We had almost a 20% move here in CRZO. This is a really nice one here. OAS had a 14, almost 15% move. So these are a couple stocks you could play. And you could just go into energy and pick just about any stock in there, but BCI is another one that tends to move a lot, and it's a low priced for those of you guys who like playing low price stocks. It's a $2.50 stock. It was all the way down to 150, so almost a pretty big gain yesterday, and you can see here 15%. Those are a few ways to play energy. Let's quickly look at Netflix here. Again, hasn't really continued off great earnings. So we'll continue to watch this. The only way I'm really going to play it is if it clears 110, which it has not yet, or quits being so volatile here around the 200-day moving average and just starts to trend down. Then I might even go short there. But right now, I'm going to stay away from that. Facebook here, holding that 50-day moving average, but not really participating enough with the market, and Amazon pretty much playing in line with the market. I wouldn't probably touch this unless it got above this 590 level here. So basically going into the weekend, and a lot can happen over the weekend. So I only want to hold if it's something that looks really strong. And right now, energy is kind of at the forefront here. If something else pops up, intraday, I'll take a look. Cyber here, looking really good, but I don't really have a good entry level for this. So that's what we're keying in on today. If there's anything interesting, I'll send out an intraday report or a trade alert.